Hello wonderful people, it's Filipe the Barros here, your West Coast swing and solo dance teacher, and today's video we're going to look at the magic of weight transfer and pitch. Let's get into it. I was absolutely delighted to be on the nerdy West Coast Swing channel recently, and it's just been published, and there's some stuff which we spoke about there which has been really helpful, and so today's video is going to be sharing stuff which I've learned from there, and also some stuff I've been working on myself as well. So do watch that episode. I'm going to link it up here. Amazing episode. Thank you very much, Alicia and Cassie. Yeah, got some great stuff to think about. So, and here's some things for you which I hope will help you as well. So the first thing we want to think about is our pitch. Pitch, we can think about it in two different ways. It can be pitch in terms of, I'm going to stand over here. I'll put this down actually. We can think about pitch in terms of hinging at the hips. That could be one way of thinking about pitch. Or we could be thinking about where the actual weight is on the foot. If it's towards the front of the foot, the middle, or more towards the back. So we can think about both those things. I can hinge at the hips and change my pitch here. Or I can be more straight up, moving my pitch. And this is something in West Coast Swing which is so, takes you to the next level when you think about where your weight transfer is, as where your weight is as a leader and as a follower. So that's the first thing we're going to think about. So we're going to be thinking about how if you're stretching with your weight in the middle of the foot, that's not going to be as efficient, and you might have to work harder to lead or to follow. So we're going to think more about the weight going towards the front of the heel, or even towards the back of the heel. And it's okay if the foot comes up slightly as well. We're obviously not going to be picking up like this. So as a leader, I might be going towards the back of my foot here. And then that is now going to be making it a lot more mechanically easier to lead my follower than if I'm here and stepping back, and that as opposed to when I'm here and continuing the weight transfer going backwards. So I love thinking about that. Another great thing as well is think about that dial as well, where you might want to be not going too far back of the foot. You may be more relaxing with a follower who's not giving you so much leverage. So it doesn't have to be as far back. You might be with somebody who might give you more leverage, so you might go further back, or you might be having more acceleration, so you might be starting to leading with the weight further back. Now, another really great thing as well, which I've been thinking about this as well, because I had a private lesson with someone, and then and they also mentioned it as well in Nerdy West Coast Swing, is where we might have our 4 with our hips here, and then we might be going 5 and then moving the hips, continuing them coming backwards there. As opposed to we're here on 4, and then you go 5 and 6, and now the hips come backwards. We can have the hips swinging already from 4 straight into our 1. So I found that a very helpful thing to think about as well. And again, you can decide if that works for you as well. And another really cool thing as well is think about your weight. I had a bit of an issue with this, and Cassie mentioned this, is that she felt like my weight was more in the middle when I was stretching away, as opposed to going more to committing to one side, like this. So you might even have a line of the foot she was mentioning here, as opposed to the line being straighter, and your weight's more in the middle. I might be more here. You could even think about releasing the hip there as we're going into our lead. And again, as followers as well, we're going here on our 5 and 6, and then I want to put in my weight onto this side and pitching towards the back of the foot. And as this foot's coming forwards, I'm still pitched backwards. I'll show you here for this magic moment. I'm pitching, it's almost like I'm still moving backwards as that foot's coming forwards, which creates that wonderful stretch. And then you might want to think about the leader. You're the ones moving the follower's pitch onto the forwards on the foot, as opposed to followers thinking about doing it themselves. And I thought that was a wonderful tip from Alicia and Cassie. So it's really cool looking through the videos in slow motion and then seeing the way they see things, and then you watch it again and you can't unsee it now when I'm watching videos. And I was practicing today with my wonderful student Ha, and I was watching the videos back because we like to film our practices, and it's so nice seeing my foot here straightening. Which leads to my next point, which is to use the muscle of the whole foot, as opposed to just rolling, going backwards and then stepping, which could be part of the dial. But I might want to also use the whole muscle of the foot to make my direction go backwards as I'm pitching. Now I can see when I'm watching myself, and I watch some of the champion level dancers, and I can see them doing the whole muscle, even with especially with a hitch, as opposed to not much. It's like, oh, they're really using the muscle of the foot. And that can also create a wonderful lead as well. And followers as well, we can engage that foot as we come forwards as well. And something really cool that Cassie said was to imagine that you're doing a squat. So I'm coming down, squatting, and then as you come up, you're pressing, you're using the muscles of your foot to come up. And in the same way, when we're dancing West Coast swing, we're using those muscles. If we just have the weight in the middle of the foot, we're just coming straight up. But if we're pitching towards the back of the foot, and then I push those muscles, that's what makes me have a direction. So that was a really helpful way to think about it, is that I'm kind of like engaging the muscle of the whole foot to create that direction. And I've kind of had a few issues with my back as well, and I kind of feel like I've been getting, because I'm recovering from an injury, and I've been getting a bit of pain in my lumbar spine. So I'm trying to sort of, how can I, maybe I've been using my back too much, maybe moving more, think about moving from here. So I'm thinking about more about like maybe pushing from the floor, and also making sure I engage from the wrist to the fingers. So then the connection that can be felt here as well, not the back, but it's kind of through the floor into here, as opposed to here. So that was a really nice tip as well from Alicia and Cassie. So yeah, this is a video of me, like, you know, I wrote down some notes and I'm just thinking them through as well. So yeah, try those things. You can practice it with a partner or with a resistance band as well. And again, followers, I'm kind of stretching towards the back of the foot as this foot is coming forwards, and I'm allowing the leader to shift my pitch as well. Magical, I love this. And the final thing is, think also, whilst we're doing this, to keep thinking about our center counterpoint and resisted release. So we're connected to our partner here, and this could be a great chance to call upon, I'm sure you all miss her, my wonderful dear student who's here in the studio. It's Ha! Here she is, surprised that I've even called upon her.
What do you want from me?
Hello, Ha! So we're gonna talk about the center counterpoint.
Okay.
So, wonderful Ha. So we're thinking about rolling towards the back of the foot, but we're having the center counterpoint here. So this stays where it is. That's the first thing. We're also thinking about all these new things that we're doing. And also resisted release, where the muscles are contracting but extending. Like now, so we're under resisted release, so our partner can feel all those weight transfer, the weight transfer. Great, so make sure you keep that. I have other videos as well that talk about that, which I may post up here, about our resisted release and so on. So it's a brief appearance today from Ha, okay. But thank you so much. So there's some things to think about. That's where things I'm thinking about on my journey in West Coast Swing. So let me know in the comments below what you found helpful. Again, a huge thank you to Alicia and Cassie for these amazing insights. Check out their video, which I'm going to link here above. So I hope you found those tips helpful. West Coast Swing is a wonderful dance, isn't it? There's so much to learn, and it can open up more tools and make it more fun. And I offer private lessons online and in person, which is there to help you grow in your West Coast Swing, to elevate your West Coast Swing. I can help in many areas such as techniques, competition, social dancing. I can help leaders and followers. I can help with mindset, turns, spins, and so on. So if you're interested, then do contact me. And if you enjoyed this video, then do click that like button and on that subscribe button below, and that will help you to get notified when videos are available. And so I'd like to wish you all a wonderful day, and don't forget to enjoy your dancing.